Hey, this is everybody's opportunity to laugh at me and not with me. I've never done this before, so this is the first time I'm going to powder and pomade my hair. I made this pomade. It smells almost vaguely like a floral Vicks because it's got a lot of I used lavender infused olive oil, coconut oil, beeswax, and rosemary essential oil to make this. So it really smells divine. So it's a little bit stiffer than I think I would have made it otherwise. But when I go to a pirate event, we're not just there like, oh, we're in our day costumes and we're going to go change out at 5 o'clock and go drinking. Oh, don't get me wrong. A lot of us are still going to go drinking. You're supposed to just and you're supposed to just put it through your hands. And this is my comb. Obviously, when I'm doing this as a demo at an event, I will have a proper wooden comb or a horn comb even. But I'm not going to just go around and, use my like green or hot pink Conair brushes. Oh, this smells so good. Like I said, it's a bit more waxy, but once like I said, I don't do this in a comfortable air conditioned place when I'm at an event. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes if I decide I'm gonna get a room, but if there's somebody I can like camp with, like one time it was me and my grandson shared a tent. But you know, if I can camp and I'm able to camp because I have a CPAP machine, so that's kind of dependent on me having like either a battery or an outlet or something. But yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But this is proper hair powder. I used a period recipe for it. It is made of wheat starch, which is not the same as flour. Although, if people didn't have money for wheat starch, they certainly use flour. And the results were kind of predictable. I got this. I think I might go to a different kind of brush. This is not working out like I thought it would. But and it looks like I'm looking off to the side, but I've actually got I can move my mirror so it's closer to the camera. Still not quite here, but I'll do it. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, never mind. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But this, you have to just kind of get the powder on the stuff on your hair because it kind of will. The rumor is that it will absorb the powder. The pomade absorbs the powder, and it's the pomade will absorb the powder and therefore help with your hair. Like it was kind of like a way to keep your hair cleaner. You didn't They didn't use brushes a lot because brushes a lot of times could be expensive. So, or and if you have powdered and pomaded hair and you try to use like a brush on it, and the brushes back then were typically made of boar bristle, and the number two. This is my main anachronism doing this, is that I have clips in my hair, but this is my one thing of let's just pretend, everybody, because I'm not going to sit here and trying to make my period clip or pin, because I'm just not really that great with hairpins sometimes. Okay. The stuff does soften up very quickly and very nicely when you're holding it into your fingers. I've got a big batch of this, which is good because I think this is going to involve more powder than what I thought it would. But, you know, you're not just dusting it on to keep your makeup in place. And this is, like I said, I just kind of grab a little bit of it and I just start smashing it and softening it up between my fingers, and it seems to go okay. The powder is wheat starch, and I ground up rosemary. I ground up clove. Well, I bought ground clove. Um, I tried to get powdered ground rosemary, and that I couldn't find it. But then again, I don't really go that many places, so if it exists, it wasn't any place I typically shop, and I don't really do special trips to stores I don't usually frequent because and I have my painting hoodie on because I knew this was going to be a horrific mess the first time I did it. And you just kind of have to get it all over your hair. Oh, I feel like that one's finally done. I know a lot of people will treat their hair with things like rosemary oil, which there's a bunch of it in this pomade. You don't realize how much hair you have till you have to do something with it. Okay, get that layer down, that layer down. And I have a hard time with pinching strength sometimes. It's just, it hasn't come back fully from when I was sick. So sometimes hair is a joke. Sometimes my hair anything is a joke. If I'm trying to put a hair clip in because I can't, I don't have the coordination to do it. So, but I can't complain because when I got home and I went to go out somewhere, I was going out to a party, I think. Just right after, it was one of my friend's birthday parties. Right after I got out of the hospital, it was like the Saturday after I got out of the hospital. And I had to have Tony put my earrings in for me because I couldn't do it. I didn't have the coordination yet to do it. Okay, get this out of here. I have one of those moisture absorber things in here. And what you did a lot of times, people, like I said, you didn't really brush your hair because brushing your hair would just, I mean, I'm not willing to investigate this myself because I'm just kind of a wuss that way. But I have heard that brushing your hair with a boar bristle brush, not to mention I don't want to have to clean the damn thing. I have boar bristle brushes, but I don't want to be, how do I put this? I don't want to get it so dirty. And I've heard that if you have powdered and pomaded hair, which I just put a big glob of stuff in there. If you have powdered and pomaded hair, then a lot of times, if you try to brush it out with a boar bristle brush, it just pills up the pomade in your hair. It just pills it up. And it kind of makes you look like you have a like nasty case of dandruff or something, you know. Right now I'm watching this, and I know that it's supposed the Hurricane Milton is supposed to hit tomorrow. I hope everybody's staying safe. Or tonight, or I'm not sure exactly when it's supposed to hit. This is October 9th. What would have been my mom's 73rd birthday had she lived to this point. Since this is Hurricane Milton, I'm just going to ask it. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to ask the question. Has anybody tried offering it a red stapler? A red swing line stapler? To get it to be happy? Because, yeah, I'm thinking maybe that might work. My husband saw a red swing line stapler because he knows how much I love that thing in Office Space, how Milton's always looking for his stapler, and he bought me one. Like I said, this is I don't know how well I'm doing or what, but I intend to do this semi frequently, so I'm at least, you know, I have an idea what I'm doing. Oh yeah, look at the comb. But the combing, it did make it look nicer. So I'll probably be doing that later, as soon as I get done powdering the holy hell out of it. Okay, just go over here, some stuff over here. It's probably gonna be another 20-minute video or more. I don't know. I've never done this before, so it's just gonna be as long as it takes. I'm not like Abby Cox. It's like she does it, like makes it look easy. It's not. I'm learning very quickly. Now, am I spoiled to my 21st century things? Yes, definitely. I mean, the thing is, though, is like, believe it or not, you still powder your hair, whether you consciously do it or not. Because if you use dry shampoo, a lot of the ingredients in dry shampoo are just starches. Starches and propellants. So, kind of like you are powdering your hair, but you're not at the same time. It's a 21st century take. Let's see, let's get this off. Ah! And I've got hair that's like some type of, I don't know, almost sentient thing that like tries to eat people, I think. Since I've been reading a lot about, you know, antiquities, hair care and stuff, I've actually used a lot of it for my own stuff. Like, you know, combing versus brushing. And yes, combing will get the stuff better than brushing will. And you end up with a lot of, like, I don't know, debris in your comb at the end of the day. And so now I have my combs on rotation and I wash them at the end of the week because, yeah, since I've been doing that, you're not really aware of how much dust and debris can get into your hair until you start combing it. Or, you know, I thought my hair was like, I stopped washing it all the time, and I realized at the age of 51 now, it tells you how recent this is, that I was, my hair is actually wavy, and I didn't know that. So I was always told that it had kind of a frizz to it because it's dirty. And so I would wash it sometimes 2, even 3 times a day because I was paranoid that it was dirty. but it wasn't. It was just had a different texture than what like my mom's hair did, so she didn't know what to do with it, so she just told me it was dirty. Um, this is working. I'm trying. I'm hoping I'm doing this right. I don't know. Like I said, with the exception of not making the powder out of wow, I'm making a mess. Tallow, which I'm not going to do because I'm not going to lie. The whole concept of putting the tallow, well, it's just, I have a thing about the smell of tallow. And I know you can wash it so it doesn't smell, but I just feel like I would psychosomatically be freaking out because I could smell the tallow in my hair, but I know I probably would do it correctly. I wouldn't really be smelling it, but I would be, bitching about it. I look, oh my god, I look like a 5-year-old that tried to bake cookies. I'm covered in powder, but I expected this, so that's why I am dressed accordingly. Come on, melt, melt, melt. It does melt very quickly in your hand. It does soften up very, very quickly. What the hell is that? Okay. Yeah, I'm out here on my back patio because I was not doing this in my bedroom. Not until or in my bathroom. Because, yeah, I might be willing to get it dirty, but, I mean, the simple fact of the matter is my husband lives here too, and I respect him more than, trashing his house just to play dress up. Let's just get this over here. Okay, you go over here. Okay. I look like I'm smacking at a fly with a sledgehammer. Wonder how I'm doing. I'm gonna have to see if anybody's got pointers for me on a couple of online groups I'm in. Good thing is those I've got enough of it on my hand that I don't need to keep constantly dipping back in. I can just put a little bit more on. Like I said, I've got so much stuff on my hand right now. And of course, my hands have always been very warm to the touch, so maybe this is actually just melting for me a lot. And that's just a thing that's been going on since I was yes, I know. Thank you. And you do this every few days, if I am reading correctly. And you just kind of coat your hair with it. It's not. It's really funny because you'd think that this would feel gross, but it doesn't. it feels textured. It feels kind of stiff, but it's not like, it's not gross. Okay, come on. Okay, this is my last little quadrant to get done. And no, that one's already been done. See what I mean? It's like, and people asked me if I was worried about my hair, turning my hair white. Well, my hair's gray anyway, like most of it. So, and the thing is funny because I get the powder at my hands, and the powder does such a good job of absorbing the pomade that it's actually kind of making it's absorbing the pomade on my hand if I get it on my hand. So this is, I mean, it really works. Obviously, they use it for a reason, and people need to let go of the idea that people from the past were dumb. I mean, just because they didn't know about something, doesn't make them dumb. Just because they didn't have, our modern inventions and conveniences. Oh my God, look at my hair. I could never commit a crime. All they'd have to do is follow the trail of hair back to my house. And apparently, if you had money, you had a maid, a servant, a helper. Some people had slaves. I'm not getting into that discussion. I mean, I think across the board, it's a universal. Unless you're a slaver, you pretty much agree with the universe that slavery is immoral. Oh, I've used a ton of this powder. But I made a big batch, so I'll be able to refill this container. Okay. Well, see, this is, I mean, like I said, it's really nice, and I'm just gonna go in through here and make sure I have the undersides taken care of, because I've noticed now that my hair does not, because I comb it every day, I comb it with the wide side and the fine side of the comb once in the morning and once at night, and I go through my whole head of hair with it. God, it looks like a war crime was committed on my back patio. They were cutting coke back here or something. Yeah, this is going to be a get ready with me thing at my next event. Okay. So, I got this in the clearance shelf at the thrift store. Same thing with this. I think they cost me a grand total of $3 combined. But this is the powdered and pomaded hair. And I actually like this. It kind of builds up your volume a little bit. So, and if you have hair can turn into drowned rat hair in a moment, like mine does, something that adds volume is actually something you like. I don't know why, but I always have to have my hair put off towards this side one way or the other. Even though if I'm at an event, I'm probably just going to be pinning it back or shoving it inside of a hair cover. Because I'm constantly trying to make sure. So, and like I said, this actually seems to work for me. If I'll definitely be able to make something into this hairstyle. But that was the powder and pomade, and it looks like some type of war crime has been committed upon my person with some weird powder. But I presume as soon as I get more adept and more precise that that's going to improve as well. But thank you for coming along. I hope you laugh at me and enjoyed it.